most interesting stuff happening is another exciting IPO coming out.
Yeah.
So we know 2024 has been the year of big IPOs, a lot of people making a lot of money, but another, before the year is ending, another big IPO coming out. So it is one exciting IPO. At the same time, it is a supermarket brand doing their IPO, and the name is none other than Vishal Mega Mart. So I always think that these supermarket brands are very exciting. Retail investors always had to be a part of it, always used to discuss about it. So yeah, that is what is really interesting.
Even in our local hometown, right? People often tend to invest in local supermarkets, and that's a
Correct.
very interesting thing that I've seen happening.
Yeah,
Your
that's
friend will have a supermarket,
Right.
someone.
Yeah.
Right.
But these are real legit ways for you to get into the supermarket or hypermarket business.
Absolutely.
Where IPOs like this can be wealth creators. I
Right,
think
right.
it'll be a very interesting topic.
And Vishal Mega Mart also, right? I remember, I hope you anyways know, a lot of audience also knows. So I did my college education in Jamshedpur.
Okay.
So I studied from NIT Jamshedpur. So I am again from Kerala. So Kerala, I have never seen Vishal Mega Marts. So when I went to Jamshedpur back in 2012, during my college days there, that is where for the very first time I saw Vishal Mega Mart. So that part is also there. So when I saw them doing their IPO, I'm like, hey, this is interesting, right? So now let me be very specific here. So this is becoming very interesting because investors are really concerned and caring about, hey, can this play out a Dmart sort of a story? Can this give multi-bagger returns? So can Vishal Mega Mart give multi-bagger returns is what people are thinking for multiple legit reasons. Reason number one is Dmart, if you remember, did its IPO in 2017. And from 2017 till 2021, that's in 4 years alone, it gave over 900% returns.
Absolutely. With just Dmart stock, somebody who have invested into Dmart has gained multi-bagger returns, and people are still betting on it. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Still betting on it, even though from 2021 till now, which is again the last 3-4 years, Dmart has not given any
Absolutely.
returns to shareholders. In fact, Dmart is down 35% in the last 3 years. So that's a different story. So my point being, this Vishal Mega Mart piece is interesting because people are expecting that multi-bagger sort of a story playing out. Again, it has happened with Future Retail also. Again, story is different. How they ended is different. Future Retail, the big bazaar,
Yeah.
as everyone knows. So the listed company is Future Retail. So Future Retail eventually had to announce bankruptcy and get out of business. But in their prime, they did IPO in 2016, and from 2016 till 2018, they made more. They gave shareholders more than 500% returns. So definitely the story is right. People are kind of expecting or looking forward to a multi-bagger sort of a returns from Vishal Mega Mart. So Ajay, what do you think? What are numbers telling?
So if you're talking about Vishal Mega Mart, I think always the comparison should be with Dmart. They are the closest competitor, and the numbers give a very interesting story. So Vishal Mega Mart has close to 8,900, 9,000 crores in revenue, while Dmart has a revenue of 50,000 crores. Similarly, if you're looking at the profit numbers, Vishal Mega Mart is having nearly 450 to 500 crores, and Dmart is having 3,000 crores in profit.
Which means that Vishal Mega Mart is nearly 1/5 the size of Dmart of sorts.
Yeah, it is kind of in that range. And even if you're looking at the valuation, interestingly, it's following that same number. The valuation of Vishal Mega Mart for its current IPO, it's expected to be 40,000 crores. Dmart, with its current market cap, is around 2.5 lakh crore. So
in
everywhere-
5-6 times in
Yeah.
terms of valuation as
So
well.
profit numbers, revenue numbers, valuation numbers, all looking at the same range. So you can expect all the ratios to be the same as well.
it.
PE, PB, not PB, PE ratio will also be in a similar level for both of these
So it's a
companies.
chota Dmart of sorts is what we can understand. But how has the revenue growth and growth overall has been?
So if you're looking at the last 3 years, both Dmart and Vishal Mega Mart, they've grown at 28% CAGR revenue. Right?
Interesting.
And that's good, right? They've wildly different markets, I believe, wildly different number of stores, but both of them, being in the space they are, have grown at 28 to 30% CAGR in revenue.
But given Dmart is growing from a larger base, but Vishal Mega Mart is growing from a lower base. So I would have loved to see Vishal Mega Mart growing at faster paces than Dmart. That's something which I strongly feel.
So this is where I want to talk about the whole fundamental way of working of this business, right? So where we are seeing now new businesses coming into quick commerce, where we are
Yes.
seeing Blinkit, where we are seeing Zepto, we are seeing Instamart. They are growing at much larger scale, and then revenues are compounding a lot faster. They are actually making more money also. Then we see these stores where Vishal Mega Mart, and then let's say for that matter Future Group, which is Big Bazaar, being closed. Why are they getting closed? Maybe people don't want to go to a store, have such a high capex business that they want to run, where people actually have to take that effort to go into the store and then buy stuff. So I think that is slowly fading down, and I don't see much of a future there to some extent. So that could be a major blocker for these guys.
That's very true. The larger narrative is definitely shifting towards quick commerce and people at their convenience of their home ordering stuff and stuff reaching people to their home, to their doorstep in 10 minutes. So that's a world where companies like these are inviting people to come to the stores. That's definitely a valid point.
I'll give you the numbers there also. Interestingly, Blinkit in its Q2 report made or said that they made a revenue of 1,150 crores. That's in a single quarter.
Okay.
Now, if you extrapolate that, you're reaching somewhere around 4,500 crores in revenue a year.
Yeah.
That's already half of what Vishal Mart is doing. Right? Vishal Mega Mart is doing.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, they're already at a good scale. They're growing rapidly. They're growing 100%. When we're talking about 30% year-on-year growth with Vishal Mega Mart and Blinkit, the other guys are growing at 100%, and I think they're capturing the cream of the Indian market.
That's a good point. They are capturing the cream. The quick commerce companies are capturing the cream of the Indian market, while the lower strata or the tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 cities of the entire Indian market is kind of left open. I mean, it will take quick commerce to go there, the digital penetration to reach there, people being comfortable in ordering online and maybe paying sometimes a little extra to get that convenience. So that tier 2, 3, 4 stories are open. Dmart has definitely done something there. So maybe Vishal Mega Mart could go there and build for Bharat and become that Chota next Dmart sort of a thing. Is also something which I think might play out.
So this is where even I've looked into Vishal Mega Mart's business. So they clearly mentioned that Dmart is again focused on tier 1 and tier 2 places, like rightly you've mentioned.
Correct.
And Vishal Mega Mart is actually focusing on tier 2, tier 3 and tier 4 places where Dmart hasn't entered yet. And they are huge there. That is why you could see the number of stores difference also.
And maybe that's why even I saw the very first store in a city like Jamshedpur.
Absolutely.
Right?
If you're looking at the numbers, the largest 3 states for Vishal Mega Mart is Uttar Pradesh, Assam and Karnataka.
Interesting.
Anyone in Bangalore, I'm sure they would already know. But their other major markets are Uttar Pradesh and Assam.
But even though all of this is looking good, and the point that you have mentioned that they are doing it for the Bharat and they are called as the Chota Dmart or mini Dmart of sorts. But I have another concern of their quality that they provide. So even though they are competing with Dmart, and we here also are actively comparing it with Dmart's revenue and their profits and everything, I feel the store's quality and the product quality is also not that great when compared to Dmart. And because they are situated in tier 2, 3 majorly and targeting there, they're compromising on the quality a little bit. And I don't know how far that will take them.
Yeah, so I have an interesting story. When I moved into my house in Bangalore, I think 3-4 years ago, one of my friends suggested me to go to shop in Vishal Mega Mart instead of Dmart. That's the first time I'm hearing about the brand. And I've already been to a Dmart. But when I went into this Vishal Mega Mart store, it looked nothing like a Dmart. Okay? It was like a scary place to be in, lights not working, things all on the floor. But then quality was okay and prices were dirt cheap, right?
Cheaper than Dmart?
Cheaper than Dmart. That's their catch. They're saying, we'll give you the same quality, worse experience and cheaper prices. Right? I don't think that's officially their plan, but that's how it looked to me.
But when we look at the stores, I mean, Dmart stores are so cramped, they are so claustrophobic. It's like everywhere there is stuff. I feel Dmart is also on the similar lines in this.
Same. I think it's both the same. But interestingly, all the products that I bought from there, I'm happy with it. Had a huge bill. I'm sure it would have been double, triple if I shopped somewhere else, right? Saved a lot of money, got good quality products. Experience was not great, but maybe that's okay.
But do you think Star Market again coming into this segment and chipping in, and they are also offering at much better prices when compared to Dmart also? So recently my sister started going to Star Market a lot, where she's actually appreciating the quality, which is better than Dmart and price more lesser than Dmart. So
even I thought about it, right? Your Star Markets, your Reliance Freshers, all of these are just supermarkets.
Yeah.
And Vishal Mega Mart is operating in more of a, what's the right word? Hypermarket of sorts, where it's not just your grocery, daily essentials, but there are even more stuff like maybe like textile, you get footwear and certain other stuff as well. That's where Dmart and Vishal Mega Mart are playing. So that difference is also there, right?
Yeah. I think one of the major interesting or driving factor for me to look into this brand was their story. So if you're looking into their story, in 2003, it was founded as a company called as Vishal Mart. And it was founded by Mr. Ram Chandra Agarwal in 2001. I'm sorry, right? And they grew really fast. 2007 they did their IPO.
It was a supermarket chain.
It was a
Okay,
supermarket
got
chain. And they had in-house manufacturing of apparel, footwear, as you were saying, right? And in 2010, 2007, they did their IPO. 2010, things went for a toss.
So they already did an IPO.
Already did an IPO.
Okay.
This
I'll
is
get
the
to-
V2 retail.
I'll get there. So this is how story of Vishal Mart, right? So Vishal Mart started 2007 IPO. 2010, the company went into huge losses.
Okay.
Okay. So the founder had to carve out the supermarket or hypermarket division and sell it to a third party.
Okay.
For only 70 crore rupees.
Oh.
Yeah.
And
Those
what is their IPO valuation right now?
40,000 crore. Yeah. So the founder carved out the hypermarket business. He kept the apparel, manufacturing, everything there. He carved it out. He sold it to a third party. Those were distressed buyers on the other side. And things started looking positive for his company. Okay. Whatever was his company, he renamed it as V2 Retail. It is still trading in the Indian market.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this carved out company, now it's coming out with its IPO.
Got it.
Right? So it changed hands in between. Other people bought it. But what was sold at 70 crores at that time, now is being sold for, or it's being valued at 40,000 crore rupees.
Beautiful.
What a different comeback story.
So it's a hypermarket carved out of another public company,
Yeah.
which has eventually grown so big that it's doing its own IPO.
Yeah.
So now that they are actually coming out with an IPO, and do you think Vishal Mart IPO, Vishal Mega Mart IPO is going to be a multi-bagger like Dmart?
From all our discussion so far, I think I have a clear mind map here now. So one is the first quick commerce versus retail story. So there, if you have clear conviction, if you think that quick commerce is only going to win, if you want to put all your money only into that, then only invest into Zomatos and Swiggies of the world. But also if you feel that retail for Bharat, the Bharat story, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 retail story is going to play out, that is where you have to look at Dmart and Vishal Mega Mart now that it's joining the journey. So Dmart, if you see, is a trusted brand. It's a large company, proven company. It has already given 900% returns from 2017 to 2021 alone. So multi-bagger sorts of a story. But if you look into Vishal Mega Mart, similar story, trying to play out the story that Dmart did, but the valuation is not really nice at this point of time. So I feel that the story looks good. If you believe in the retail story, you should definitely look at Vishal Mega Mart as a good opportunity. But maybe you can wait for even better valuation to get into something which I feel.